What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Something's been on my mind lately. I have a feeling that Serge Ibaka could be another one of the players that the Clippers might actually look to trade in the trade deadline. I mean, would they let him go? I'm not sure. Is it a good idea? I don't think so, but it's really hard to say because at this point, I know the Clippers feel like they haven't gotten the best of Serge Ibaka. They haven't gotten the Serge Ibaka that they really hope for. And, a lot of times when that happens, teams tend to kind of sway away from a player, even though the player is a veteran, has done a lot of good things in this league, and definitely is a very good locker room presence as Serge Ibaka is. It's all about production, and production wise, when he's on the floor, he's not bad. He's still he's not a great shot blocker like I thought he was at one time, but he still can stretch the floor. He still can make the offense versatile, and at the same time, he can make them as a team much better when he's on the floor because he's basically a two-way big man. He can play both ends of the floor. He can go on one end and play defense, moves his feet really well. He doesn't block shots as much as he used to, as I said, but he still can move his feet really well. He still can disrupt some things in the paint, and he's a big body in there, and he's a skilled high IQ big man. Plus he can go on the other end of the floor and knock down a three. He's a good free throw shooter, and like I said, he's good at mid-range as well. So I mean, he definitely serves value. The only problem is his health, and I feel like the Clippers definitely might possibly be shopping him around if they feel like they can find somebody better, because they feel like he might not only be unhappy with his minutes that he's getting or that he was getting, but it's almost like some games you look at, I mean, here lately he's been playing more, being more on offense, but I think the Clippers look at him more like, well, when is he going to get injured again? Because it's almost like I feel like they expect it to happen. And like I said, you can read reports and everything about it online, clipperholics.com, wherever you choose to go, that he's definitely possibly one of the ones that could be looked at as in moving forward next in a trade, possibly, because he just really hasn't lived up to what they thought he could. And now that they got Isaiah Hartenstein and looking at his energy and his high motor and the way he plays and how he goes out there and goes after it, they like using him a lot more. And I'm pretty sure that's really where their mindset is. They would like to use Hartenstein a lot more in that big man role. But at the same time, Hartenstein doesn't have the basketball IQ that Serge Ibaka has. So it's like, it's really a tough situation. And, Zoo is stuck somewhere in the middle. Zoo has moments where he looks really, really good too. It's not too often, but he does have moments where he's solid. And, for several games in a row there, about a week or so ago, he was looking pretty good himself, and he's still holding his own somewhat. But at the same time, it's hard to let go of a Serge Ibaka to me because, like I said, he's so versatile. And when he is healthy, he can give you things that Isaiah Hartenstein and Zubac can't. They can't stretch the floor the way he can. They can't move the way he can. Now, Hartenstein, I will say he steps out and shoots a jumper with confidence whenever he takes it. That's cool. But at the same time, he doesn't have a jump shot like Serge Ibaka does. And he doesn't get respect from teams and defenses the way Serge can and the way he does. So it's like when you take a player like Serge Ibaka out and you go into the playoffs, hypothetically, with a Hartenstein, you're more limited because, like I said, not only defenses really don't respect Hartenstein like that because they don't know much about him, but at the same time, is Hartenstein good enough to go into the playoffs and be that solid big man that you need every single night? And I'm not saying that he can't, because I like Isaiah Hartenstein. I really do. I like his energy. I like his high motor. I like the way he hustles. I like the way he'll go up and contest shots and block shots himself. He moves his feet really well on defense. He can knock down a 17-footer. And, he's average at the free throw line, pretty good for a big man. And he's just one of those type of big men you really want on your team as, a good backup, I think, to a player like Serge Ibaka, if Serge is healthy. And that's the thing. Health and everything is really playing a big part with Serge. And, I know some nights, Serge Ibaka wants to play a lot more minutes than what he does, but I think they're just being really overly precautious with him sometime because, his injury history and back injuries are nothing to play with, Now, here lately, he's been looking a lot better. To me, I've been seeing more progression out of Serge Ibaka's game, getting his footing under him the way he's supposed to. But in the long run, I don't know if the Clippers, are looking at that factor. And to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they let go of Serge Ibaka or traded him for somebody else. I hope they keep him because, honestly, when I look out on the market, I just don't really see anybody else that I would take over Serge Ibaka if he's healthy. I just don't. I mean, of course, there's some big men out there, who have, skill and all those things. Don't get me wrong, but Serge Ibaka's won a championship. He's been to a couple of finals in his career. He knows the game. And, as I said before, even though Kawhi is hurt, it's still all about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is the main guy on that team. Whoever he say should be there, they should be there. You see what I'm saying? And he wanted Serge Ibaka to come there. He really did, because he wanted high IQ players and he wanted people that know championship level or know how to play championship level basketball. Now, they really got a good upgrade in regards to that because they just got Norman Powell, and he definitely knows about high IQ basketball and, playing the championship level because him, Serge, and Kawhi was on the same team on the Toronto Raptors just a few years ago, and they won a championship. So it's like, you be taking away from the nucleus of having championship-minded players there, the championship mentality type players there, and a good locker room presence, and a guy who can help you in the playoffs, and he can help you because he's done it before. You be taking that away if you let go of a Serge Ibaka for somebody that's a little bit above average, who you're just taking a chance on if you trade him. So me personally, I don't think they should trade Serge Ibaka. I think they should find a way to keep him. To me, he's a valuable piece. You know what I'm saying? If he's healthy, which it looks like he's, starting to get his footing more and more to me, I think he's a valuable piece. I think the Clippers need to keep him. I think they need to try to find a way to, keep him going, keep him motivated. I mean, I know Serge probably wants more minutes, and he wants more consistent minutes, I should say, because some of these nights I see him playing, he gets good minutes, but Serge wants the consistency in minutes so he can get his point total back up, so he can, be the Serge Ibaka he was, or at least feel like he's that Serge Ibaka he was. And I definitely understand his side, but there's been riffs about tweets and stuff like that about Serge not being there, before the trade deadline now, and his name is just resurfacing back up again just because of all that's been said and everything. But man, we'll just have to see how it goes because, like I said, it's a really tricky situation with Serge. You don't want to let go of a high IQ player like that because you know what he brings to your team. And Serge Ibaka, if he doesn't serve that much well in the regular season, if he's healthy, what he'll serve in the playoffs. He will give you something that a lot of other teams don't have. The versatility in a big man, championship DNA, and he'll give you that playoff experience that a lot of players on the Clippers don't have. The Clippers got a lot of talented players, but the problem is, are they talented enough, or do they have the mindset or the skill set to go into the playoffs and do it? A lot of them haven't proven themselves that way. A lot of players on the Clippers haven't been in the playoffs. When you think of Brandon Boston's, when you think of Amir Coffey, you know what I'm saying? When you think of players like that, the young and upcoming guys like that who the Clippers rely on every night, are they going to be the player they need to be when it comes time, which is the playoffs and when you really need them most? The regular season, a lot of players do a lot of things, but will they show up when they need to? And I'm just going to use an example, a player like, even though he's not the same position as Serge Ibaka, but a player like Amir Coffey. Amir Coffey's playing really good right now, but can you count on him having big nights like that consistently, or giving you consistent minutes in the playoffs if need be? You're not sure because you've never seen him do it in the playoffs on a big stage like that where every game is magnified ×2. In the regular season, it's really good what he's doing in the regular season. But right now he has the green light. There's no Kawhi, there's no PG. Right, is he going to be knocking down those shots if those two players come back, where he has to go back into a role where he's limited on shots and every shot he takes, means something even more so than what it does now because they're not in the playoffs. These are questions you have to ask yourself. Now, I believe he can, but at the same time, me believing it and seeing him doing it is two different things. But this is why I said you have to be careful when you trade certain players or look to move certain players, because you got to get that same value back, especially if they're a championship player like Serge Ibaka, or they have championship experience, DNA, high IQ, whatever you want to call it, because those are the things that can help you be a better team, be a championship team, or a team that's contending for a championship. Or if you don't have players like that, that could be the difference in you actually making it further in the playoffs rather than actually exiting in the first round. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.